Your live wall Pilates lower abs workout. I'm Kayla Brugger, your certified Pilates instructor. This is my very first wall Pilates lower abs class, so I am so excited to teach this class for you today. If you have a hard time activating your low abs, what I'm going to teach you today in this workout is tips and tricks on how to use the support of the wall to help keep your lower tummy muscles engaged. Our lower abs are such a hard part to activate. A lot of times we feel it high in our upper abdominals and we have a hard time targeting those lower abs. So I am super excited. We have got about 15-20 minutes together today. This is also part of your 28-day Wall Pilates Beginner Challenge. So if you are not signed up for that challenge, make sure that you head to the video description and download your PDF workout calendar and follow along with the full 28-day challenge. I also want to remind you that we've got super chat, super thanks turned on today. So if you would love to thank me for this workout and thank me for any of these free Pilates challenges, I would love to keep creating them for you. It is my passion to bring you Pilates at home for free. But I need your donations and your support to keep going. So I cannot thank you enough, and I appreciate you being here, and let's get started. As you begin down on your back, your legs are going to plant up against the wall here, hip width distance apart, hands at your sides, and we're gonna start with a gentle pelvic tilt. So this is just a really subtle rock through your hips and pelvis. So it's not gonna feel like you're doing a whole lot, but we again just wanna target the lower core. So as you exhale, I want you to feel like you're zipping up a really tight pair of jeans, and then you're gonna bring it back to neutral pelvis. Exhale, find the tilt. So it's just a teeny rock, and what you should be feeling here is your lower back pressing into the mat as you're doing the tilt. So find two more. And last one. Now we're gonna move through the tilt to a pelvic lift. So as you exhale, feel the tilt. Now I actually want you to rock off your tailbone and your sacrum, and your waistband should come up a little bit, but not much from your lower back or your ribs. And then lower back down to neutral pelvis. You've got a little bit of that space underneath the lower back. Exhale, pelvic tilt, and then the lift, and you should feel the pubic bone and belly button shortening or coming closer together with the isometric contraction there. We've got three more pelvic lifts. This is just helping getting those lower tummy muscles turned on. And then just also notice how the wall right now is just supporting the weight of your legs. So you're able to really focus on what is happening in those lower abs. So if any point of time in class today you are having a hard time connecting there, just place your hands on your lower belly, and that's gonna give you a tactile feedback and kind of flip your brain to think about where your hands are connected to, and then your body is gonna make that mind-body connection there. Oh, from here, we're gonna come into our imprint. So I want you to feel the lower back pressing down, your spine imprinted into the mat. Those lower core muscles are still slightly activated, but you're not in a tilt or the lift. Coming into a single leg march, exhale in, and tap the foot back down. So now the biggest thing against the wall as we alternate knees coming in is not letting the wall take the entire weight of your leg. So it's just there for support. Exhale as you pull in. Again, this is all about mind-body connection in this warm-up here. So really thinking about connecting the lower abdominals. This is gonna feel really easy, but we're just trying to make that connection first. So when the movements get more challenging, that we're already connected there and we don't have to think so much about it. A lot of Pilates is concentration. Last one. And bring it down. Now we're gonna go to a single leg slide. So you're gonna exhale, slide the leg up and down, alternating. Exhale up and down. So again, I just placed a hand to the lower abdomen to again feel that. As the leg is moving further away from your center, you should feel those tummy muscles starting to activate a little bit deeper. And we're just here for 3, And exhale 2. And one more. Now slide the arms out and just keep your feet connected to the wall, but this is just a nice little rock here. Knee sway from right to left, side to side here. The hips are gonna rock a little bit, little massage through the lower back, which feels nice. And one more to the left. Now back to center, hands back at your side. Feel those tummy muscles engage again. And now elbows are gonna bend. So your palms are coming up here. We're gonna come into a double knee lift or a double ab activator. So take a deep breath in. As you exhale, pull both feet off the wall. Bring your thighs to your hands and make contact, and then press. Inhale. Don't let your arms move. Bring those thighs to your hands and keep pulling the thighs in, but your hands are creating resistance here. Ooh, I'm feeling the shake, the quiver, the Pilates tremor of truth on this one. 2 more. This one also kind of feels like giving birth a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Exhale. And one more time. Exhale. Drawing in. Beautiful. All right, now from here, set your feet back on the wall. Hands are gonna go down. We're gonna heel toe the feet and the knees together. Now we're gonna get into some of the deeper work here. So breathe in. Exhale, low back draws in first. You feel the lower abs and you bring both knees in. Tap the feet back down and exhale. Bring it in and exhale. So again, it's just a tap. You're keeping that activation underneath the lower back. And if you need another point of tactile feedback, your hands slipping underneath your lower back and you're trying to constantly smush your fingers can really help. And if that causes you any pain or discomfort in your sacrum at all, you can always hold neutral spine. I have a very large curve in my low back and lumbar spine, so I really have to hold the tuck for me to feel my lower abs. Otherwise, I go straight into my lower back. So you can kind of play with spinal positioning and figure out what's working best for you. Now we're gonna come into a little reverse crunch. So the knees come in and you rock off your tailbone slightly and then tap the feet back to the wall. You're trying to take out momentum as the hips and pelvis are returning back to the mat. So you're gonna notice your arms really pushing into the floor there. Exhale as you're coming up. We've got another 5. Really control it. A lot of connecting the lower abs is coming with control and minimizing momentum. This is our last one. Now you're not gonna touch your feet back to the wall. You're gonna hold them in tabletop. I'm already starting to shake. Arms are gonna go out to a T. Now you're gonna let your knees, both of them, sway over to the right. And then exhale, pull back to center. Whew, my back just cracked there. That felt really good. Other side. And now you're intentional about using your tummy muscles and obliques here as you're coming back to center. Sway and draw back in. Keep the hands and shoulder blades connected. So depending on how much rotation your spine can handle here too, will also determine how far those knees are going. It's also important to keep them together. Last one. And we're back to center, holding here. Now hands come back in and feet are gonna go back to the wall. Now, the closer your hips are to the wall, the easier it is. So we're gonna try to challenge us a little bit more by wiggling back slightly. So from here, reposition, feet about hip width distance apart. Now you're gonna find that slight tilt and tuck here. Hold the low back in, and now you're gonna extend both legs up the wall. Okay? So straight legs here. Now here is where, if we didn't have the wall supporting us, a lot of times that lower back would arch and pull. Zip it up, feel the pulling in. So think about your ribs closing together like you're pressing the pages of a book shut, or butterfly wings are at its closed point. The belly button should be tucked under the ribs. Now bend the knees and slide them back down. Exhale, extend them up and down. Exhale up and down. And lift. Keep the core in super tight. Oh my gosh, starting to feel that shake for 3. And you want to imagine that the legs are floating in air, but using the wall to assist you and not do the work for you. That's the biggest thing. We hold here, we keep that pulling in. Now lift one leg up and then lower it back down. Exhale, alternate, lift And I literally just have my big toe, the bottom of my foot touching against the wall, and I'm continuing to feel the legs lifting from the core. It's really easy to get in the quad or hip flexor here. So start from the abs first. And here's 3. You can stay right here, but we're gonna try to advance it. 2, and 1 more. Now let's come into a full scissors. So you're gonna start to pull the leg off the wall as the other leg is going down. So you have that free floating time in space before the other leg meets back on the wall for a scissors here. Also, really nice stretch in the hamstrings. Ooh, anybody else's hamstrings been like super tight in this challenge from all those bridges? Oh my gosh, right? Hamstrings have been burning with the wall bridges. Drop a heart, like, comment, let me know if you are feeling that extra tightness and glute hamstring activation as much as I am throughout this challenge. Last one. Now both legs are going down to the wall again. Okay, so you're again feeling that lower ab connection with those legs at the lowest point. Now exhale, bring both legs up. Whoo. Tap it down. Now again, remember, we moved further away from the wall. So if this range of motion is too much for you, you're gonna wiggle your seat a little closer to the wall. So you're able to meet those legs back down to the wall without the lower back arching. So I am like literally at my furthest depth of range of motion. I could probably actually scoot a little closer to the wall because my back is wanting to arch. So I'm really having to fight for it. And don't forget to use the opposition of your arms. Really push those arms into the mat to help keep your abs zipped up. Last 2. And 1 more. Now we're gonna add on after this next one, that little hip lift up. So just like we did with bent knees, you're gonna lower the legs down, and now you're gonna poke the toes up through the ceiling, bumping your tailbone up. Lower the legs down, and exhale, bump it up. And we're only here for 3 more. Oh my gosh. And 2. Exhale, bump it up. And 1 more. Bump it up. Whoo, good job. Legs return to the wall here. Again, your heels now. I want your heels touching the wall. Arms are sliding out to a T. So we're gonna go into that double leg sway now. So we did it with bent knees 2 times earlier, but now the legs are straight. So you're gonna slightly sway over to one side. Now use your core, use those lower abs to pull back to center. Pause. I have the grippy socks on, so this is a little bit more challenging. I'm trying to get off the grips a little bit so the feet slide a little bit more smoothly. So I like to feel like my heels are drawing a rainbow. And then as you exhale, we want to get the low back to the mat again at the top of the rainbow. You're going to feel a little lifting as you sway from side to side. But this is actually kind of setting us up for our next exercise. Let's do it 1 more time. Over and exhale. How we doing? Drop me something in the chat. Let me know you're with me here. Exhale, pull it back to center. Okay, so hands return back to your sides. Well, I could tell I was sliding away from the wall, and I just know my range of motion is more limited with legs extended. So I have to adjust my body closer in to make sure that I keep the imprint underneath the lumbar spine as we move into the next one, which is a corkscrew. So we're gonna first lift the legs straight up the center. Now we're gonna sway the legs slightly over to the right like we just did, but now we don't want that left side rocking off. We wanna only sway slightly away from our center. You're gonna dip the toes down, brush the feet lightly against the wall as you circle up the left side. Now you're gonna reverse it. So the legs are gonna sway the other way, down, brush the wall. You should feel your sacral bone and are really heavy, especially as the legs are going down to the wall and back up. Keeping the legs together. You feel like you're rocking on your sacrum. So it's kind of that bony part right at your lower back, almost where it kind of feels like it connects into your tailbone. 1 more each direction. Now, we're gonna take a little break before we go into the advancement, but remember, this is level 1. Now, level 2 is to do the circles and then add the hip bump at the end, okay? So if you need a break in your hip flexors, hug your knees to your chest here. Okay, we've got 1 more exercise here, and then we're gonna change position. So extend the legs back up, circle the legs over one side, swoop down, The smaller the circles, the more connected you're going to stay. Bump it straight up. Reverse direction. So the big thing with this bump up is less is more. We don't want to be sending those legs over. You're not activating your lower abs if you do that. So think poke the toes straight up through the ceiling and lift. So much harder. So much work in the lower abs. And up. We're going to do it one more time each direction. And up. Ooh. Last one. And bump. Lift. Knees hug in. Great job. Okay. We are going to rock up here. So go ahead and sit up and let's recline back on our elbows now. So I want you to move further away from the wall and your legs are going to extend out. Again, you might have to adjust pelvic and hip positioning here as you're getting into position. So making sure, sometimes this mic gets a little wonky if it's too close to my throat. Okay, so we're up here, propped on the elbows, legs extended. Try to point the toes a little bit, and then we're gonna start with our pelvic tilts again. So the biggest thing is if the back is arching forward, the pubic bone is pushing forward, you're gonna stress the lower back. So we wanna do the opposite. We wanna tuck in, and you wanna, again, feel that balance on your sacral bone. Now come back to neutral pelvis, and then exhale, pelvic tilt. So again, this is very subtle zipping up. And I literally feel like my belly button is disappearing here. Tucking, tucking, tucking. Notice, again, if you were doing this with the legs just floating in the air, oh my gosh, hip flexors, lower back would be taking over. So it's so nice to have the support of the wall. Kind of hold. This is what we're trying to isometrically contract, our lower abs zipping. Now let's take the right leg up, lift, bend the knee for a single leg bicycle and stretch it back to the wall. Alternate, left leg goes up, bend, bicycle back to the wall. Now, as you're alternating legs, again, it's just a light touch of the toe. We don't want to rest the legs on the wall. We want to keep the work in those lower abs. Last 3 and 2. One more. Now we're going to try a double leg lift. So a little bit more challenging. Make sure you're not dropping into those shoulders. So push the elbows away, slight tuck of the chin, tuck the pelvis, and lift both legs. And tap. And both legs up. And tap. Again, I'm balancing on my sacrum here. So can you keep the balance on the sacrum, the zipping of the lower abs? And bring this one up. Now bend the knees, stretch the legs back to the wall for a double leg bicycle. And 3. Find your breath. 2. Again, the higher the legs go up the wall, the more support you have. 1. Now we're going to reverse it for more of a dolphin tail. So you're going to sweep the legs down, heels pulled to seat, knees tuck in, extend the legs up, and then slowly lower, 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 lower. There's the challenge. Drag down, heels in, knees in, and extend. Lower, 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 slow, slow, slow. Keep it in your contraction. Drag in and up. Last 3. You're exhaling on the away. 2. We're almost there. Last 1. And we lower. Oh, rest the feet against the wall. Okay, let the lower abs soften here. And now we're actually gonna press up to your seat. You might need to rock your butt back a little bit here. Those legs are supported, and what I want you to do is grab your calves or the backs of your knees here so you can hold yourself upright. And now we're gonna teaser. So as you let go, we wanna pull the tummy muscles in. The back is slightly rounded. I just have my toes connected to the wall because the toes are actually gonna slide down the wall a little bit here as you roll away. Head taps down, tuck the chin, feel the lower back pressing in first, and then you're coming back up with control. The toes kind of climb the wall here as you make your way back up. Now, if this is too much, scoot your butt forward and bend your knees. So your knees are gonna be bent. This is a beginner option here, actually coming up with bent knees and lifting. Keeping the knees bent as you're lowering. Advancing is legs straight. Tucking the chin to the chest and coming back up. I know in the challenge, I think day 2, the intense abs and booty workout, we do this exercise without the beginner variation. So I know you've done this already before in day 2's workout. So again, let me know in the chats here how this is going in the challenge. Really feeling our core muscles. Exhale, lifting, lifting, lifting. We've got one more. Down, down, down. And control it up, up, up. And we're gonna finish with a nice stretch at the top here. So whether your knees are bent or your legs are straight, you're gonna just grab the backs of your knees, and I want you to give me a lift here. Lift the chest, stack the spine. Now round the spine and pull your head towards your knees. Woo, really good stretch there in the hamstrings and the low back. Inhale, and then exhale, round it out. Inhale, and exhale. 2 more. You could bring your hands up closer to your ankles if you want a little bit more. And last one. Lift it up, open it, bring the hands behind you. Just one last little reverse counter stretch for our tummy muscles is taking those hands back, lifting your hips, dropping your head back, opening up the front of your body. Whew. And go ahead and set it back down. Great job. Wall Pilates, lower abs. Thank you for joining me. See if I can check in. Anybody on the chats here with me? I always get confused with how to view the chats. Like I said, I'm on my phone when I do this. I don't have a fancy system to see the chats as I am in the live view here. So let me know in the chat box. I can see them after the workout. Again, I've got super chat, super thanks turned on. So if you love this workout, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channels for more at-home Pilates workouts. I will see you in the next class.